Hello, it's time for Makat News. Welcome to our channel. Our concept is to bring you the latest news from Japan. Please be sure to watch until the end. Thank you. Alright, let's begin with the first news. Prime Minister Kishida arrives in Washington to attend trilateral meeting with U.S. and South Korean leaders. On the morning of the 18th in Japan time, Prime Minister Kishida arrived in Washington, United States, to participate in the trilateral summit meeting with leaders from the U.S. and South Korea. The venue for the meeting is the U.S. President's Retreat, Camp David. President Biden's invitation of the Japanese and South Korean leaders to the retreat marks an unprecedented, warm welcome. This gesture symbolizes the welcomed improvement in the long-standing, strained relations between Japan and South Korea. Arriving in Washington about 5 hours prior, Prime Minister Kishida will head to the retreat, which is approximately 100 kilometers away, by helicopter after spending a night. Camp David holds historical significance as the site of meetings that contributed to the thawing of tensions. During the U.S.-Soviet Cold War era, only 5 Japanese prime ministers, including former Prime Ministers Koizumi and Abe, have been invited to the retreat. Interestingly, President Biden served as an intermediary between Japan and South Korea during his time as vice president, working on the contentious comfort women issue. He strongly believes that the relationship between Japan, the U.S. and South Korea should not be subject to fluctuations with changes in administrations. Prior to the trilateral meeting, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida will hold a separate bilateral meeting with President Biden on the 18th. The direction is towards reaching an agreement on joint development of new interceptor missiles to address hypersonic weapons being developed by North Korea, China, and Russia. Enhancing cooperation in the economic sector will also be discussed. During the meeting, both sides will aim to further deepen the Japan-U.S. alliance. Discussions will revolve around expanding U.S. involvement in Japan's defense across various capabilities, including nuclear deterrence, as well as enhancing Japan's defense capabilities. The joint development of interceptors by Japan and the U.S. will be the second instance since the improved interceptor missile, SM-3 Block 2A. The joint effort aims to develop a missile that can intercept hypersonic weapons during their glide phase, which occurs at a relatively longer distance, and is more predictable compared to the final stages of their trajectory. This dual-layer approach, in combination with conventional interceptors at the final stage, enhances the capability to counter these threats. President Biden will release a document emphasizing the cooperation of the 3 nations at Camp David, expressing his desire to establish a deterrence against North Korea and China. It will be interesting to observe how Prime Minister Kishida and President Yoon respond to this announcement. Moving on to the next news. On the 18th, at a press conference, Wang Wenbin, Deputy Director of the Information Department of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, issued a warning in response to the Japan-U.S.-South Korea trilateral summit, stating, "The Asia-Pacific region should not be turned into a geopolitical arena for conflict. The Chinese government is cautious of the strengthened security cooperation among Japan, the U.S., and South Korea." Wang emphasized, no country should pursue its own security at the expense of the security interests of other countries, and should not jeopardize regional peace and stability. In a related development, on the 17th, the Joint Staff of Japan's Ministry of Defense announced that a total of 11 naval vessels from China and Russia passed between Okinawa and Miyako Island and headed towards the East China Sea. This maneuver, believed to be a joint patrol conducted by both countries, has raised significant security concerns as it appears to be a deliberate act of intimidation toward our nation, according to the ministry. Moving on to the next news. The Abe faction of the Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, has approved a new leadership structure, with Deputy Chairman Tatsuya Shiotani becoming the new representative, in their General Assembly on the 17th. Since the passing of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe last year, the group's activities had been stagnant. But the establishment of a new leadership structure has set things in motion again. However, this setup remains a collective leadership system. And expectations for Shiatani's leadership. Negotiation skills in elections and personnel matters are limited. Anticipated power struggles over the chairman. Position and party presidency candidates further obscure the direction of the largest faction's influence. After the assembly, Shiatani expressed, "I feel a heavy responsibility." He will be the point of contact for negotiations with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida during the cabinet. Reshuffle and party personnel appointments in September. During the assembly, Deputy Chairman Hirofumi Shimamura's appeal that a chairman would be weak, he should become the representative, did not gain broad support. The roles of the five-person core are also under scrutiny. This brings into focus the extent to which the faction's power will maintain its influence. Doubts also hang over Shiatani's leadership. Source: please note that this translation is a paraphrased summary of the original Japanese text, and might not match the precise structure and wording of a professional news article. Moving on to the next news. The Imperial Household Agency has announced that Her Imperial Highness Princess Kako, the second daughter of Prince and Princess Akishino, will visit South America's Peru in November. According to the Imperial Household Agency, this year marks the 150th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Japan and Peru. And Princess Kako has received an invitation from the Peruvian government. Princess Kako's visit to Peru is scheduled for early November, with an estimated duration of around 10 days, including travel. The schedule during her stay is currently being arranged, and is expected to include a courtesy visit to the President of Peru. This will be Princess Kako's second official foreign visit, following her visits to Austria and Hungary in 2019. Peru holds significance for the imperial family, as Prince and Princess Akishino have also visited the country, along with Princess Mako during her time as a royal. Moving on to the next news. Mayor Tetsuo Nishi of Uraseki Town has expressed his intention to accept a feasibility study for the potential location of an interim storage facility for spent nuclear fuel, following a request from Chugoku Electric Power Company. The study is initiated in response to China Electric Power's pursuit of new regional development strategies. Mayor Nishi's decision is based on his commitment to securing a sustainable future for Uraseki Town, connecting it with the next generation. During a special town council session, with 7 members in favor and 3 against, Mayor Nishi announced, "I will report that we will accept the proposal from Chugoku Electric Power Company." However, he emphasized the separation of the study from the actual construction, indicating his intention to impose conditions for the study's execution. This joint effort between Chugoku Electric Power and Kansai Electric Power will entail approximately half a year of research involving document examination and drilling investigations. In China Electric Power's statement, they emphasize their dedication to conducting the study with utmost safety and environmental conservation in mind. In Uraseki Town, meticulous explanation to the residents is deemed essential in connection with the survey. Mayor Nishi has stipulated 4 conditions for the study's acceptance. The purpose of the interim storage facility is the temporary containment of spent nuclear fuel. Given the uncertainties surrounding the operation of the reprocessing facility in Rakasho village, Aomori Prefecture, nearly 80% of the domestic storage capacity has been consumed, prompting concerns over storage limitations. The execution of this survey will result in the allocation of national subsidies to the town. However, prior to the commencement of the council session, numerous residents opposing the proposal gathered around the town hall and encircled Mayor Nishi's vehicle upon his arrival, creating a tense atmosphere. The Uraseki nuclear power plant construction project was suspended after the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in 2011. The election of Mayor Nishi, who is in favor of the nuclear plant, led to a push for new regional development strategies. In essence, Uraseki Town's decision to undergo this feasibility study represents a pivotal step in the ongoing debate over the construction of an interim storage facility for spent nuclear fuel. Moving on to the next news. Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike urged citizens to conserve water. as the water storage levels in the dams of the Tone River system, which serves as Tokyo's water source, have fallen below the average for this time of year. During her regular press conference on the 18th, Governor Koike revealed that the water storage rate of the 9 dams in the upper reaches of the Tone River system was approximately 66% as of that date. She emphasized that the situation could become more challenging, depending on future weather conditions, and stressed the importance of water-saving efforts, such as reducing water usage when using sinks and showers. She stated that the cooperation of each individual would contribute to significant results. Moving on to the next news. In early July, a gruesome incident occurred in a hotel located in the bustling Susukino district of Sapporo City. A 62-year-old man was murdered, his head severed and taken away. New details have emerged that approximately 20 edged tools, including 4 saws, were seized from the suspect's residence. The suspects involved are a family of 3. A 29-year-old unemployed woman named Runa Tamura, her 59-year-old father and a physician named Osamu, and her 60-year-old mother who works as a part-time employee. They are accused of conspiring together to commit the crime. It is alleged that on the night of July 1 to the early morning of July 2, they fatally stabbed a 62-year-old man from Eniwa City in a Sapporo hotel in Susukino, cut off his head, and removed it. According to investigators, a total of around 20 edged tools, including 4 saws and several other bladed instruments, were confiscated from their residence. Multiple bladed instruments were found in Runa Tamura's room specifically. It was revealed that prior to the incident, Runa Tamura and Osamu Tamura purchased several bladed instruments, including saws, from a mass retailer near their home. Additionally, about 2.5 hours before the planned meeting with the victim on the day of the crime, around 8:00 p.m. on July 2, they bought another saw. The victim's body had been decapitated using several bladed tools, including a saw, as indicated by the condition of the cut. The investigation team is working to identify which specific tool was used in the crime. On the other hand, legal representatives of Osamu Tamura and his wife released a statement on the 18th. According to the statement, the reports suggesting that Osamu Tamura had told investigators that he tried to stop his daughter's actions but couldn't are incorrect. The legal representatives state that neither Osamu Tamura nor his wife had any anticipation or involvement in Runa Tamura's actions leading to the incident, and they deny any conspiracy related to murder or disposal of the body. All 3 family members have denied the accusations of murder and other charges, maintaining their silence during interrogations. However, the investigation team continues to work towards unraveling the full details of the event, including the roles and motives of all involved parties. Today's news ends here. On this channel, we cover daily updates, intriguing news, topics, and in-depth entertainment content. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates. See you again.